YouTubers, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few days since I've posted anything on YouTube. It's been a crazy past week, just work priorities. Me and Zach took quite a bit of loss the last month financially, so we're trying to make up for that. So I've been working a lot of extra hours here at the gym to make up for that. So trying to find time sometimes to record something in between all that, I'd be like, ah! Sometimes you gotta get your priorities, you know, in a line, and some things come first, some things come last. I wanted to do this particular video because this has been a request by many people, and in this industry it's very popular, is competing. So bikini, fitness, figure, whatever division you want to go into, whatever category, competing. I have a lot of girls who will email me, or I have current clients who do ask for advice and ask me, I'm thinking of competing, what do you think, what do you recommend, and I have so many questions about it. For most of you that don't know or do know, I actually did compete. I did 2 shows kind of at the beginning of my career and it's about 5 years ago now was my last competition, and I just did the bikini and the IFBB and NPC, just bikini, just the little bikini. I'm gonna start this video by saying, doesn't matter what you're doing. It could be a bikini competition, it could be just trying to achieve weight loss, just trying to make gains, you know, doing powerlifting competitions, doing CrossFit, doing MMA, doing martial arts, doing jiu-jitsu, doing marathons. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, you have to make sure you're truly doing it for yourself, that you actually love it and have a passion for it. But it's about doing it for you, and not because everybody else is doing it, and not because of the pressure to look or be a certain way, because then the intentions aren't genuine. And then you get halfway through it and then you decide, I absolutely hate this, or you could have done something, you could have gotten hurt, you could have ruined your metabolism, something could have happened that was negative on you and your body. Lose motivation, you might just end up like absolutely hating what it is you're doing and anything that goes along with it, and so you just stop everything completely. So you want to make sure that anything you do, it's always genuine. You really are doing it because you want to do it for you, and because you actually you are interested in the challenge, you are interested in challenging yourself, and you are curious of what, you know, what you're capable of in whatever sport you're going into, whatever kind of activity you're doing. I did 2 bikini competitions back in March 2013. I did one which was muscle contest, I believe at the time it was with the IFBB or the NPC down in LA. So I did that one. I think I got like second call outs. It was out of maybe like maybe 30 girls or something like that. And then I did a second show which was, oh, I'm drawing a blank on what the name is, but it was in Sacramento, and I think I got 3rd call outs or something like that, so which comes to like maybe like 15th or 16th place or something. And you know, why did I start? Why did I compete? Well, at the time, you know, me and Zach, we've owned our gym for, you know, almost 8 years now. I've always been into fitness, I've always worked out, and I was kind of taking it more seriously at the time, and then I started doing the social media stuff, and, you know, started seeing people competing. I kind of sparked an interest, but I never pursued it. And then I started having people say to me, they were like, you should compete, you should do it, you should compete. And so I had a lot of pressure on me that people were saying, well, you're like pretty much ready to do it, you know, at the time, and I was like, all right, well, why not? So I was following a bunch of people on Instagram at the time, and I ended up picking a coach that I was following on Instagram, and actually competed and offered online coaching. So I was like, all right, let's do this. So I didn't even think about it. I'm like, let's just do this. So I started my prep in January of 2013, and it was a 12-week prep. I had no idea what I was doing. I never competed before, so you know, of course you're just gonna completely trust your coach to put you on a program, and whatever they tell you to do, you're gonna do it. So we started this prep, and it was just sticking to a very strict meal plan. It was all I think I only got a little bit of fruit. It was mostly rice and chicken and some oatmeal and egg whites and spinach, asparagus, broccoli, and maybe a tablespoon of peanut butter, I think it was, and it was very specific like this, you know, for quite a few weeks. And you know, I was training all the different muscle groups each day. I had a split, and I started doing fasted cardio, and I'd never done fasted cardio before, so I started doing fasted cardio on my prep. And fasted cardio is you're just doing cardio on an empty stomach. You know, I had to take my BCAAs, and I had a specific supplement protocol I was following, and my fasted cardio was about an hour every morning. I think I had 1 or 2 days off. I can't recall. In the beginning it was fun because I was like, yeah, something new, a new challenge, you know, but then I start getting burnt out. So I was doing that, and at the time I was working in the dental office still, so I was doing that at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd go to work, and then I would come back to our gym after I got off at the dental office. I'd come to our gym and I'd work out then. We start the day all over the next day. So I did this religiously for quite a few weeks. I did have cheats. I wasn't allowed to have dairy, I wasn't allowed to have sugar, I wasn't allowed to have salt, only specific seasonings like Mrs. Dash, things like that. It was very strict. I did have a cheat once a week, but because my cheat, I was kind of blowing up each time, like just getting super bloated and stomach aches. It was just terrible. But the reason why, when I look back, is because I was on such a strict diet that when I would have my cheats, I would binge on my cheats. Like, I wasn't supposed to, but I would, because I was, you know, I was restricted so much during my prep. Then my coach cut out cheats, so cut out sugar, cheats, salt. I mean, everything was cut out, so I was only eating rice, asparagus, chicken, tilapia. That was it, like religiously for the rest of my prep, and no cheats that whole time. I did achieve some fat loss, but I got a lot of muscle loss at the same time because of how much cardio I was doing. Ended up, we started doing 30 minutes of cardio after my weight training, so I was doing an hour and a half cardio a day on top of like an hour of weight training with this restricted diet. And I believe my carb intake was really low too. I can't recall what I was eating at the time, but I think I had half a cup of oatmeal in the morning, or fourth a cup, and then one other meal had half a cup of rice, and that was it. So I didn't get a lot of carbs, but you know, I didn't know, I wasn't doing nutrition at the time, wasn't certified, I didn't go to school yet. I was just trusting my coach with my program. So I decided to take on one more competition right after that. It was 2 weeks apart, and so my coach was like, let's do this, let's bring you in, let's tighten you up. So we increased my cardio to 2 hours a day. Yeah, that's bad. On top of weight training, and a decrease in my calories again. Bad. Something, if I had known at the time, if I had all the knowledge I knew now, I would not have done that. 2 weeks, that was the protocol I followed, and I did come in a lot leaner my second show and a lot tighter, but I was like so tiny, so tiny. Even Zach was like concerned. He's like, I don't like how small you are. But I got a lot of muscle loss in that time, and I think my stage weight was probably like 118 pounds. I'm not sure my body fat was at the time, but it was pretty low. I want to say it was like maybe 9% or something, 8%. It was pretty low. We did a diuretic this time around so that you just completely get dry up, and so I came in pretty small, pretty lean for that show, but I was miserable. Near the end of both those preps, I mean, when I was working out, I was crying all the time. I was tired. I was like sleeping all the time. I was hungry. Like, I just wanted to binge eat and eat anything and everything. It was the most terrible experience near the end of both those preps. And after my second show, I decided I'm not going to compete anymore, because I was like, this is not for me. I can't do it. So after my second show, I told my coach, I said, you know what, I was like, I'm done, I want to take a break for a little bit. I did. And now I could have like gone crazy and binge eat on pizza and candy and everything that I couldn't have during prep, but I knew better than that. I just wanted to go back to healthy food, but I didn't understand that you couldn't just, first of all, after taking diuretic, you couldn't just pound a bunch of water, and you couldn't just go right back into eating anything and everything, doesn't matter what amount it was. I didn't know about reverse dieting at the time, so I just went back to eating more fruit and more carbs and all this stuff. My body freaked out because my metabolism wasn't working right. I had been deprived of carbs for so long. The amount that I put in twice the amount that I was eating during prep. In like that first week I was off prep, my body blew up. I got edema so bad. my metabolism didn't even know how to respond to the food and how to process it. So I mean, and it basically been in starvation mode for so long. It was holding on to anything and everything it could. It was storing all this fat, and it was just retaining all this water, and it was embarrassing. And I didn't take any pictures at that time because I was really embarrassed and depressed of what had happened to my body. I didn't understand what was going on with my body, and I ended up approaching my coach about it and said, you know, I'm swollen from my waist down. You can't even see my ankles. I was like, well, you know, what's going on? Like, can you help me? Like, my coach didn't even know of reverse dieting because we didn't do reverse dieting after that. It was kind of like, okay, I'm done competing. Okay, bye. That's kind of how it was left. So when I approached my coach and said, this is what's going on, my coach just was like, I never seen anybody experience that before. I don't know what's going on with you. And I was kind of like taken back by that. That I was like, my coach didn't even know like what was going on with me, like just put me through this whole prep. I trusted my coach, you know, and then this is going on and you can't even help me like figure out what's going on or have a direction for me. So I took it upon myself. I visited a doctor, and then I started doing all this research to find out why I was experiencing this with my body. And of course, you know, I found out that what was going on, and I ended up approaching my coach with it, saying this is what's going on. And my coach was actually kind of upset with me, kind of like, maybe, I don't know, like I took it upon myself to find out what was going on, and I knew more, I don't know. And so it kind of left that on bad terms, unfortunately. But it was a learning experience for me, and that's actually what compelled me to become a coach myself, become a nutritionist myself, and why I am so adamant and so like I'm like, education, guys, education. And you don't have to do all these crazy things to yourself to achieve a certain look. I did not want that to happen to anybody else. It was what I experienced, not only with the coach, the competition, the competing, the prep. The after was terrible, and I was like, I never want to go through that again, and I don't want anybody else to go through that again. So I took it upon myself to be like, okay, I know there's ways that you can achieve something, you know, more safely and healthy and not drastic, but there are some coaches out there that you do not want to be your coach. You do not want to be prepping with, and then there's some that are amazing, but it's taking it upon yourself to interview your coach, to get all the info you can about your coach before starting with them. Just because you see they look a certain way or they're coaching other people, you don't know what they're really doing and what the behind the scenes. You gotta make sure that you know your coach and know who you're working with before you just jump into it.